Everybody, Kieran Murray here with Let's Talk About Northwest Wines. Why are you smiling like that? Why are you so darn funny?
I'm just waiting to see what you say. It's just, you never cease to amaze me.
She wants to know if I'm going to come clean and tell the truth.
Oh, for Pete's sakes. Well, now I guess we are.
So here's the deal. So this is an episode we call Bottom of the Bottle. We usually do it like once maybe every week, probably
Do you
every
want to
2
tell
weeks.
everybody who you are?
Oh, didn't I tell them?
No.
I'm Kieran Murray with Let's Talk About Northwest Wines, and here's the beautiful, lovely, talented, sexy, gorgeous.
Sherry Murray.
Kind of screwed that one up, didn't I? Okay, so here's what we do. And bottom of the bottle.
I feel like we need a blooper reel.
I think the whole thing is a blooper reel. So obviously you can tell we're not high tech. We're not. I don't think we're not even high class. We're just someone who turned a video camera on and said, "Let's talk about wine."
Woohoo!
You know, right? So here's what we do on this episode of Bottom of the Bottle. We feature a winery. Normally what we do is we pour the top of that bottle and we drink that. And then we pour the bottom of the bottle and we go onto camera and we drink some wine, talk about some great experiences we've had at that winery. We don't talk about the wines itself because we couldn't tell you the difference between any of them and why they're great and whatever we're picking up. All we can tell you is if we like to drink it, it tastes good. Our palates just aren't that sophisticated enough to be able to tell you that we pick up a hint of blueberries and well, maybe you do, but I certainly don't.
My palate is better than yours, and I still don't do a very good job.
I'm just not that good. All I can tell you is, yeah, I like it, or I don't, right? So if we didn't like it, we wouldn't be here featuring the winery because we just don't buy bad wine. That's the deal. So that's what we love about going to the wineries, to taste the wine first. Instead of like going to Costco. Because if you go to Costco and you buy a bottle, you might not know if you like it or not. But if you go to the winery and taste it and buy the bottle, you pretty much know you're going to like it because you've already had it. So,
which is one of the many, many reasons why we buy direct from the wineries as often as possible. In fact,
we only 100%.
Pretty much 100% buy from the wineries is because we get to taste it first for the most part. And because 100% of what we purchase goes back to the winery instead of sharing the wealth.
Right. So Costco, Safeway, whoever's Fred Meyer, they've got many other avenues of revenue coming in where they don't need the money from the half the bottle from the wineries. So we would much prefer just to make sure the wineries get all that money.
Absolutely.
And save our wine industry, especially during this COVID crap. So, so tonight, like I said earlier, is a little bit different. Normally we do this once every maybe 2 weeks. We get really bad on a schedule. We've had such great experiences, and then we get behind on recording these videos. So tonight is Friday, January 8th. It is my birthday. And I told Sherry, I said, let's do multiple videos.
Now, we're
catching up. So, so the funny part is for each video, we changed something. So like the first video was over there with a different backdrop. The second video, we changed clothes. Third video, we changed the backdrop and
changed clothes.
And I put a hat on.
And I changed my hair.
Oh, yeah, you did, didn't you? You braided your hair. I'm wearing it. This is the first time I've worn a hat in probably 15 years. I don't wear hats. I'm just doing it to fool you into thinking that this is a video that we've done all by itself, separate of everything else. But I'm here to tell you it's just not the truth. So, so here's the deal.
I just can't with you.
So tonight, we're just going to drink wine for my birthday. We're going to enjoy it. And we're going to tell you about some awesome experiences we've had at wineries around the Pacific Northwest because we have had a ton of them. So what we're talking about tonight in this video is our friends over at Kestrel. Kestrel's out in Prosser, and they have a tasting room in Woodinville. I think they have one in Leavenworth too, but we haven't been there.
I don't know.
But I know they have one in Woodinville because they're awesome there. So you want to talk about one first because you just...
Yeah, I love Kestrel. And there's so many reasons. I mean, they make great wine, but they really, really create great experiences. So the first time that we ever went to Eastern Washington for any wine tasting, we
stayed in our RV in Prosser.
We did.
At the Wine Country RV Park.
Yep. And the first winery that we went to, we were with some friends, another couple. And the first winery that we went to was Kestrel. And we were just going to figure this whole wine tasting thing out because we really hadn't experienced it very much. And we had so much fun. Oh my gosh, do you remember the wine slushies they gave us?
I do. I didn't have those. But
Oh,
that's not my
they
thing, but
were fabulous because it was a super hot day, and yeah, it was amazing. So we continued on after that and did some other tastings. Well, we went back, just Karen and I, probably about a month or so later, and we went back into Kestrel because we had had such a great experience. And here's the one thing that stood out to me that I will never forget was when we walked into the tasting room, the ladies behind the counter recognized us. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys are back. Where's your friends?" And we were just kind of taken aback a little bit because it was like
we were in the
why?
day before, right? It was like,
Yeah. I mean, it had been a month or 6 weeks or so at least before. And so they remembered us. We were talking, we were tasting, and Kestrel was our very first wine club that we ever joined. And a big piece of that was because
people.
of the way they made us feel.
Number one, they had great wines. Everything we'd had was phenomenal. We loved it. But number two was they made us feel like $1,000,000. And this was just in Prosser before we ever got to go to Woodinville.
Right.
And then our experience even got better from there. But just in Prosser alone, and we live like 4 hours from Prosser, so it's not like we can just drop everything and go there whenever we want. But when we get a chance to go out there, we just love going there just because it's, they're just the people. And here's the thing is, the people are so cool and all the wineries. That's what we're finding is everywhere we go, people are just so dang awesome because wine is just a very cool industry, right? We all drink wine.
Well, yeah, because when we went in, we didn't know what to expect. And they kind of set the bar, and they set the bar really high. And what we found throughout all of our wine tasting and our experiences is it's really not a high bar or a high standard. It just really is the standard. And it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it's a high standard, but it's the normal standard for a lot of the wineries. I mean, everyone just does a very, very cool job of making people feel great, and some do a lot better than others. I can just tell you, at Kestrel, they made us feel like just $1,000,000. So we joined that club. Mm-hmm. And what we do with our clubs is we rotate them because we try to only have 10 at a time on. And all of a sudden we get up into 13 and 14 and go, hey, wait a second. So we have to, stop some of them. So we try to rotate them through. So there's some that we stay with a little bit, but there's some that we're like, okay, let's drop this one so we can go to another one. And so it makes for some hard decisions. But fortunately, we have a lot of Kestrel in our house. We've purchased a lot of Kestrel wine. So it's really cool.
They have fantastic case sales.
Oh my gosh.
Their case sales are ridiculous.
The Lady in Red is like an everyday drinker that is just, it's one of the best blends. It's phenomenal.
And another really cool label.
The label changes every year. They come up with a new label. And when we posted on Facebook that we were going to over to Kestrel, we had people, our friends were commenting, hey, will you pick me up some Lady in Red? I've been collecting this for the last however many years.
Lady in Red, Lady in White.
And they want this Lady in Red and the Lady in White, the Chardonnay, whatever it is. And so it's just really cool. So that was our experience in Prosser. Mm-hmm. And then we live over on the west side. We live just down south of Tacoma, out in the Tules, out in the sticks. And so we wanted to go up to Woodinville because we know they have a tasting room there. And that's where we met.
What? Oh, Caitlin.
Could you, when I do this? Wow. You really blew that.
I was still on the whole Tules thing.
You really
Sorry.
And
Jenna and Caitlin, jeez.
Baby giraffe.
So it's really funny. So during COVID, I mean, obviously we've been shut down. We've been open. We've been indoors. We've been outdoors. We've been masks on, masks off. I mean, we've gone through everything. And, God forbid, the people in the restaurants and wineries and things like that have really gone through a tremendous amount of change, and they need to adapt, and they need to adapt quickly. And so we decided one weekend we were going to go up to Woodinville, and it was literally the first day that the restrictions had been lifted enough where you could do tastings inside. So it was back this summer. And so we walked in, and of course we walked in straight up noon when they open, and
Nobody else was there yet.
no, and they were kind of a little frazzled. And as Caitlin would say,
Was that our first time there?
It,
Had we been there before? I think we had been there.
we had been there before for a release.
Yeah, and then we went back. This was another time
Yeah.
we went back.
Yeah. But when we went up the first time, we didn't really make the connections with them. We were again with some friends. It was kind of one of the last stops in our travels. So we'd had a lot of wine up to that point. So it was one of those things that they probably didn't want to know us at that point anyway. So anyway, so we went in, and they were frazzled. They were just trying to get things set up, trying to figure out exactly what they were supposed to do, what they could do, what they couldn't do, how to be compliant, because they're always really good about being compliant and following the rules. And it was really funny because Caitlin was just kind of like all over the place. And was it Jenna that gave her the name? Herself that gave her the name? We gave her the name? I'm not even quite sure where this came from, but she's like, I'm like a baby giraffe learning to walk. And that stuck. So Caitlin has been to us and will always be to us baby giraffe.
So if you ever see in our Facebook group, Let's Talk About Northwest Wines, where anyone does a hashtag or something, baby giraffe,
Caitlin.
That'll either be us or Caitlin. We'll be referring to Caitlin, or she'll be referring to herself. But that's how she got it. So when you go to Kestrel in Woodinville, you should just walk in, especially if you've never been there before. Just walk in and say, Kieran and Sherry told me I was supposed to ask for baby giraffe, and they'll just die. They'll fall over laughing.
And you don't even have to say our names.
Yeah,
just say we're looking for baby giraffe, and they'll know where it came from. I mean, we were the only ones that did that. And what's really cool, when you walk into their tasting room, they have their lobby area, and then they have the tasting room. And there's 2 tables that are obviously strategically separated that you could sit at. And those are typically for non-members. And then the members get to go in the back. Well, we don't like to go in the back, because if we go in the back, we can't sit and talk to Jenna when she's sitting there at the bar doing everything that she's doing. So we'll move if some non-members come in, so they can sit there, and we'll go in the other room. But for the most part, we really enjoy sitting right in front and being able to taste wines and just jaw with Jenna and with Caitlin. And Caitlin's just always whooshing. She's whooshing in, she's whooshing out. She's just kind of doing her thing. But those 2 ladies have got it going on, and they treat people like family, and they are just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Jen is awesome. She's, we talk about Bellingham, where the kids are going to go to school, what her husband is doing. I mean, it's like, and so now when you walk in, it's almost like Norm from Cheers or something, where they know you know them, you know them by name, or, whatever it is. And then what we find is, whenever we're going back and we're meeting all these different people at all the wineries, like in Woodinville, is if you don't get a chance, and because there's so many wineries, if you don't get a chance to go back and see your favorites and the ones that you've established great relationships with, there's almost like a guilt feeling, because you went someplace else to try somebody else's wines. And so when we post in our group that we were at whatever winery,
we're not cheating.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. And so it's and especially with Kestrel, because we've established such great relationships with Jenna and Caitlin. We had a chance to meet the general manager who's out in Prosser that we talked about. We're trying to remember his name. Starts with an M. So Jenna, Caitlin, if you see this and you put his name down there, I know it started with an M, but awesome guy that actually moved back here.
It was because of him and his referral that we found our favorite Italian restaurant up in Woodinville, which is Tropea.
Yeah.
Fabulous Italian food if you want to go up there. But Kestrel's been here's the thing that you guys really need to understand. And I know we're kind of babbling around, but if it wasn't for Kestrel, if it wasn't for the experience that we had there, we may not be here jabbering with you right now.
We might have just said, nah, this wine thing is no fun, because if we would have had a bad experience, we wouldn't have wanted to go to the next one.
Yeah.
Which is something to think about for all the other wineries, is you're making a great impression, not only for your own winery, and obviously you want to sell wine, you want to sign up club members, but here's the other thing is, You never know when someone's walking into your winery and you are their first. Like Kestrel was our first. And so you might find someone who walks into your winery who's a first timer at doing the whole winery visit. And if they don't have a good experience because of either the vibe they pick up or how they're maybe they weren't treated great or something, um, they might just say, you know what, this whole wine scene in Washington and Oregon and Idaho and everything in the Northwest is just on my own thing, and I'll just go get wine at Costco or something, right? And so um, it might actually shut a new person down from going to explore and find other wineries and find, because here's the thing is, those other wineries are not your competitors. Those other wineries make it possible for people to fall in love with the whole Washington scene, so they keep going out and finding new great places. And so our experience with Kestrel was so awesome that we went to the next one. We went to the next one. So actually all the other videos we've done prior to this and all the other videos that come after this are really due in large part because of the experience we had at Kestrel, and it was phenomenal. We said, you know what, this whole Washington scene is really a cool vibe, and they make great wine, and they're really cool people. Let's go to the next one. And then we went to the next one, and it was a really cool vibe and a really cool scene. Then we said, let's go to the next one. But especially in the beginning, if someone gets that bad feeling, that bad vibe, and they say this isn't for us, it may just shut them down. And it may shut down a generation of wine drinkers. It may shut down a ton of referrals to come into the wine industries and come into all of your tasting rooms. So hats off to all of you that we've done videos for creating a great vibe and a great scene. But hats off to Kestrel for this video, because you made it possible for us to have a great first experience where we said, yep, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep going to the next winery, and we're going to make more new friends. And so if that wasn't for the people in Prosser, if it wasn't for Jenna, if it wasn't for Caitlin, yeah, I just don't know where we'd be right now. I don't know.
It's a ripple effect.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd still be doing the stuff that we're doing. And so if you get a chance to go see Kestrel, either in Prosser or Woodinville, or if they happen to have a tasting room in Leavenworth that we haven't been to yet. I feel bad that we don't know that.
Yeah.
Wherever you see them, though, you should stop in and try them. You should stop in and say hello. You should stop in and feel that cool vibe, because I'm sure when you go there, you're going to experience the same thing that we did. And I can't wait to go back and see them again and just say hello and just pick up on more of that cool vibe and drink some more great wine. So if you get a chance, go see the folks at Kestrel. You don't even have to tell them we sent you. Just go enjoy yourself. We know you're going to have a great experience because we did. And thank you for being here. We appreciate it. And so for all you guys at Kestrel, cheers to you. This episode's for you. We love you guys. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Night, everybody.
Bye, guys.